There are many things in this world that can't be explained, be it a missing person, a strange natural phenomenon, or even a display of superhuman powers. These happenings can leave you baffled for days. Join us as we take a look at 10 such mysteries caught on tape. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to be the first to see our newest videos. Number 1. Missing Person, Jackie Sutton. The first case made international headlines for suspicious circumstances. Jackie Sutton, 50 years old, was a veteran reporter, a passionate activist and aid worker whose work took her through many war zones and war-torn areas. In October 2015, Jackie was en route to Iraq via Istanbul when she missed her flight. Moments later, she was found dead in the airport's female restroom, having apparently hanged herself. The circumstances surrounding her death were so strange that many of her friends and colleagues could not believe it when the courts ruled it a suicide. Number 2. Lars Mittank. We move on to a well-known missing person case that has never been solved. In July 2014, 28-year-old German Lars Mittank flew with his friends to Golden Sands Beach in Bulgaria for a month-long holiday. During their stay, Lars got into a brawl between rival football team supporters and hurt his ear. It turned out to be a ruptured eardrum. When it was time to leave, Lars was advised to stay on a few days and opted to remain while his friends returned to Germany. At this point, things get odd. On his first night alone, the young man made a panicked phone call to his mother, claiming he was being followed. He told her to cancel his bank cards and said the hostel he was in was really suspicious. He said he feared for his life and later also texted her to ask about the antibiotics he'd got. Alarmed, she booked him a flight and bus home. But it was the last time she would ever hear from Lars. The next day, Lars can be seen on the airport CCTV walking in with a duffel bag and heading to the medical center at Varna Airport. Later, Lars suddenly freaked out and rushed out of the clinic, leaving his bags. On CCTV, he is captured bolting through the airport and out through the car park, vaulting a fence on the perimeter. Presumably, he ran into the woods, and after that day, Lars Mittank was never seen again. He had no history of mental illness, and his bags contained nothing suspicious. His family believes he is still out there, waiting to be found. Number 3. Area 51 Caller. The next case involves conspiracy theories. On September 11th, 1997, a frantic man called Art Bell's radio show, claiming that he was an ex-employee of Area 51. He said he didn't have much time, but he needed to expose the secrets he knew. In a panicked, choking voice, he claimed that extra-dimensional, not extraterrestrial, beings were controlling the government, planning terrifying changes to the human civilization. What happened next was a mystery. Halfway through the call, the radio show's satellite suddenly cut out and transmission was lost. When it came back on, the caller was gone. Sometime later, a man called into the show again to say the whole thing was a hoax. He gave a performance very similar to the first, but voice analysis later indicated it was likely a different person. He said maybe he'd been closer to the truth that he'd known, and the intervention was to stop his accusations in its tracks. Number 4. Phoenix Lights. More unexplained phenomena comes this next video on some mysterious lights seen in Phoenix, Arizona. On March 13th, 1997, a mass sighting of a huge, unidentifiable flying object was seen by thousands, lasting over 100 minutes. The V-shaped object was recorded by many, but to date there is no explanation. Frances Barwood, then councilwoman, made an official entry. For weeks after, the local papers had a field day. making fun of her. It culminated in a press conference where Arizona's Governor Fife Symington declared he had found the responsible party and brought in someone dressed as an alien, to much laughter. The inquiry died down. Years later, Symington confessed that he too had seen the flying lights that day. Number 5. Norway Spiral Light Cortex. Next up is a truly bizarre-looking formation of a spiral of light seen over Norway, even in nearby Sweden. In November 2009, a whole 10 minutes footage shows a massive spiral of bluish-white light slowly spinning, with a grey tail emanating from it. Finally, the spiral light vanishes into a bizarre black hole, then slowly fades entirely. Some people thought that it was visually similar to a failed Russian missile, while others had theories ranging from a rare natural phenomenon to the light being a portal. Regardless, it is a spectacular sight to behold. Number 6. Paris Catacombs Escape. Paris, the capital of France, known as the City of Light. However, deep beneath the busy streets lies a secret. A dark world exists containing the remains of 6 million dead. These are the Paris Catacombs, a channel of ancient caves, mines, and tunnels paved with bones of former city occupants, stretching to more than 300 kilometers or 186 miles. Only a small section is open to the public, and access is strictly limited. The story begins in the 90s, when a video camera is found abandoned deep in the catacombs. The footage it contained looked like it came straight out of a horror film. It seemed to document what could have been the final moments of someone whose fate and identity remains a mystery. This unknown person explores the dark, winding passages. Then he starts to walk faster and faster. Suddenly he breaks into a run, gasping. He's very obviously frightened until he finally drops the camera and flees. The man was never seen or heard of again, nor were any traces of him found. Number 7. Family disappearance. Next up is more people vanishing. In this case, an entire family. In October 2009, Bobby Dale Jameson, his wife Cheryl Leon, and their 6-year-old daughter Madison Stormy Starr mysteriously went missing one afternoon in Oklahoma. Their last moments recorded on CCTV showed them making many trips from their house to the car and then driving off. The car was later found abandoned. More chilling is a photo believed to be the last image of their daughter found on camera, looking terrified. 4 years later, the remains of 3 bodies were found in the woods, identified as the Jameson family. The cause of death could not be determined, and their demise still remains a mystery. Number 8. Broadcast hijack. There are pranks that are so well known that they turn into urban legends. The following is one of the strangest pranks ever recorded on TV. On November 22, 1997, during a WGN Chicago sports news broadcast, the signal was interrupted to show the silent visual of a man in a mask. It was the popular computer-generated TV character Max Headroom. Soon the news host returned on screen, as bemused as the viewers. 2 hours later, the hijacker was back. He took over a channel screening Doctor Who, the iconic time travel series. For the next 10 minutes, the Max Headroom masked man displayed increasingly bizarre behavior. He ranted, moaned, and crackled amongst bits of incoherent yelling and singing. He waved a glove prop and spouted nonsensical lines. The final bizarre moment shows a naked buttock being spanked. The whole thing went on for 90 seconds and was the weirdest TV prank ever. The culprit was never caught. Number 9. Teenage Thai girl with powers. Number 9 is this viral video of a teenage girl in Thailand. In a scuffle with an angry bus driver, she appears to develop superhuman powers, showing him away with the mere power of her mind. Confused, she starts losing control and smashes nearby objects without touching, screaming in anguish. Coincidentally, a viral promo had earlier been released for the movie Carrie, where a stage scene in a cafe sees a girl losing control and smashing a man into a wall using her mental powers. Sounds familiar? Number 10. Ghost Woman Japan. No mystery compilation would be complete without a supernatural theme. In the following footage, a man is seen to board a taxi at a nearby deserted taxi stand in Japan. As we closely watch the CCTV footage, it appears that next to the man is a figure of a female with long black hair. As the man enters the taxi, she seems to go along, then vanishes. Other chilling stories of sightings abound in that area. It was the scene of a terrible disaster during the deadly tsunami that swept the Japanese coastal islands, killing thousands. Since then, there have been reports of ghostly sightings, including stories by taxi drivers of picking up otherworldly passengers, some of whom vanish midway through. True or false, it makes for an eerie take on the debate of the supernatural. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, hit that like button and subscribe for more.